Right, let's have a look at the fixed harmony and the intelligent harmony blocks. I'm playing my Strat into the Friedman small box model on the AX8 with some York Audio impulse responses. If you want to know what the impulse responses are, this is what the cab block looks like. It is, in this case, York Audio Recto ST41257MD. Which sounds pretty funky if you ask me. Anyway, let's have a look at the pitch block at the moment. Just for simplicity, we're going to turn voice 2 off in both of these and we'll just focus on voice 1. And I've got the mix at about 35%. Everything else, stock settings, including the master and track settings, but we can have a look at those in a little bit. Anyway, fixed harmony is, as you would expect, it is going to give you a fixed interval. So a fixed number of semitones higher or lower than the note you're currently playing. For example, if I set this to 7, now 7 semitones higher than any note is what we call in music a perfect fifth. If I play the note A, perfect fifth is E, so it'd be like playing a power chord. So there's A. And there's a power chord. Now if I turn the pitch block on, let's have a listen, like magic. So that's what the fixed harmony block does, but most of you guys want to know how to play harmonies that stay within the same key, right? If you're playing rock music, you're playing heavy metal music, you basically want third harmony. So if we stay in the fixed block, and I set this to say a minor third, this is going to sound really good with some notes in the scale and really terrible with some notes in the scale. For example, if I play in the key of A minor and I hit the note A, it's going to give me C, which is a minor third, and that works, that's in key. But then if I go and play C, I don't want the note a minor third higher if I'm playing in the key of A minor. That's going to sound like this. I actually want the note E, which is a major third. So I want it to sound like this. And that's where the intelligent harmony block comes in. What we're going to do, I'll bring that up now, intelligent harmony. So I can set this to a third in that case, but if I go into the key or the scale, this is where it gets really interesting. Say we're playing in the key of A minor, I'll have the key as A, and then I will set it at Aeolian minor, so that's the natural minor scale. We've got a couple of other options there if you're familiar with your minor scales and minor modes. We've got harmonic minor, we have got the Dorian, we've got the Phrygian, they're all in there, which is super handy, very expansive range in the pitch block here. Let's have a listen to that same melody now. It will give me C on top of the A and E on top of the C. Which is what we want. So, in other words, the intelligent harmony block gives you diatonic harmony. And you can set this to any interval you like. Let's try a perfect fourth. Or if we want to do a minor third harmony, but we want the harmony part to move down an octave, if you're again familiar with your music theory, you know that the inverse of a third is a sixth. So if we were playing something like The Trooper by Iron Maiden, I'll change the key to E minor here by going to key, scale, there we go, beautiful, E Aeolian minor, and I've set this to 6 notes below. So if you're familiar with The Trooper, the main melody is harmonized a sixth below. So if I play the top part, and I set my pitch block to do the low part in the key of E minor, diatonic harmony, that will give me the result. Now, you'll notice there's a couple of tracking issues and things like that there. So if we go into the master track section, you can play around with the glide time. And what I really like to play around with is bring that down just a little bit. This is going to control how long it takes for the pitch shifted note to move up to the next pitch. For example, a really short glide time, in the key of like E minor, or a really long glide time that will kind of lag behind the main note. Boo kind of thing happening. So I like to set the glide time quite short, say 5 milliseconds, and then we can play around with the low cut. Pulling some low end and pulling some high end out, I think really helps this to sound a little bit more natural. And as well, you can play around, I don't normally play around with the tracking, but you can play around with that one and you get some cool results. And you can also play around with the track mode. If you're playing something that's very staccato, you probably want to set this to stepped, for example. And when you play in between notes, you don't get that harmonized slide. It just goes straight there, like on an old Moog synth or something. So that's pretty fun. Most of you guys out there will want to use either this 6th below or 3rd above for sort of like rock and metal harmonies. Otherwise, you can do some cool stuff with a fixed harmony, you know, octaves and fifths, and I find that really effective if you're playing in a band where you're the only guitar player and you want certain riffs to pop in certain sections. If we go back to the fixed harmony block, one thing I like to do is, using both voices, is a 5th above, so 7 semitones higher, and an octave below. And I'll crank voice 2 all the way up. And if I was, say, playing a riff like this in a particular... I think that sounds awesome. That's a really cool way to make a particular guitar part stand out as a character part in a song. Whereas the intelligent harmony, you know, set that to 3rds, which is pretty fun, and I'll turn voice 2 all the way down. You know, if we're in the key of E minor, this gives you more of that, what I call the Iron Maiden Thin Lizzy effect. So basically all I'm doing is laying out the most obvious choices that I imagine 95% of you guys want to get fired up when you get your AX8. If you have any other questions about different harmonies or different ways to use the pitch block, please leave a comment and I will do another follow-up and do a more advanced video. But for now, hopefully that covers the basics, and if you enjoyed that, hit the subscribe button.